that they are changing my voice. They hack my phone all the time, etc. Now, what happened recently with this shooting, where 5 people were killed, it has a lot to do with why they're targeting me. And I have proof of why they're targeting me. America is under attack, and law enforcement and the military don't care enough to come together and tell the truth about PSYOPs, because, frankly, they're scared. And it has to do with the spirit of the nation, right? They chose to have a kind of, disingenuous spirit instead of letting the truth in the Bible really kind of change people's minds so they're brave enough to stand for what's right and to enforce God's law and then the Constitution, which is the highest law in the land. Instead, they enforce kind of corporate cult beliefs, and they let corporations terrorize them and threaten them with their, losing their job and so on and so forth, and threaten their families, and they uphold the code of silence, etc. So the picture on the screen that you see, is evidence that I'm being fumed and poisoned daily. And I have submitted a lot of these pictures I have, and I've told law enforcement about, how many witnesses I have on record and recordings, and they don't do anything about it. One of these guys even responded to my letter by saying, report to the very agencies that are doing it to you what is going on, right? So part of what's going on is law enforcement is in on it. Okay, that's what they said to do. Some people said, if I give up my freedom of speech and change my point of view, and they described it to me as you, right, in terms of referring to sex. They used kind of wordplay, and I think that the reason why they point to this wordplay, which I do believe there's a lot of truth to it, and I know for sure in some cases there's no other way it could be. Like the words racist and rapist are connected, and there's a lot of wordplay like that that is pretty straightforward. The word prepare is pre-rape scrambled, pirate is rapist scrambled, and there's a lot of stuff. Position is poisonous scrambled, fume is fu me. I mean, that is not a coincidence, right? It's clear that they're concerned with them, right? A me, right? Say me, right? Greed, right? Greed, need, and seed, rhyme and reason, and it goes on and on and on, right? And when you hear this, some people might say, oh, he's talking crazy. And that's what mental health does. They like to twist things. They like to pretend that the word pirate isn't rapist scrambled, or that rape has nothing to do with pirates raping people, and pirates' booty, right? Money and getting more bang for your buck is not connected to that. They try to pretend that Masonic wordplay doesn't exist, occult cut-ups don't exist. Hell, they probably would pretend that police code doesn't exist. And that gangsters don't use codes and write messages and kites and so on and so forth, and signal fires and on and on and on, man. It is a crazy world, okay, where people are targeted, right? Even that word target, right? It's first and foremost aimed at black people who are blackballed and blacklisted, but they pretend that this wordplay doesn't exist and that you're crazy if you think too much about it, when they themselves, when they're studying serial killers, often connect the dots, and it often includes wordplay, and there's often mental health, quote unquote experts working on the case. I mean, it is insane. Law enforcement in the Bay has been caught, doing all kinds of underhanded stuff. And you have this guy in Mendocino County who found a tracker in his device. He proved that they're stalking him in an organized manner. There's no reason in the world to not believe me. And in this case, it takes on, my dad has won a humanitarian award. I'm the son of 2 doctors, one a brain surgeon. Okay. There's other doctors in my family. My dad has a very high social status in society. Can you imagine if it was the mayor's son or the president's son? Well, being a brain surgeon is up there with, in importance with that. But they ignore this case, and that is extremely disgraceful, extremely disingenuous. Okay, and there's a bunch of racist cops would say things like, "Well, we'll investigate the case, but you're not going to like what we find," because it's sick. It's sick. And, I'm born in America and so on and so forth. I wish I could be proud to be American, but what I've seen in my life is just such blatant racism, hate crime after hate crime. They just ignore it, okay? They pressured my parents to, waste money because they don't want them to, quote-unquote, help me out. I mean, it is sick. And it's sick that they think that I should go out like some, crying little girl, some kind of sissy that refuses to embrace universal masculinity and say, you know what, I'm going to stand for what's right, even if I die, go homeless, get kidnapped, buried alive. I don't care what it is. I'm going to stand firm to the end. And it's sad that other people don't have that stance. And at the end of the day, when it comes to bravery in America, it's just me, and everyone else is scared. And my parents have done respectable things, but I'm the only one really standing firm for what is absolutely right to a T. Okay, and I've gone beyond what my father has accomplished. And I have a right to argue my religious arguments and to assign importance to myself religiously. That is my right. And the Constitution is supposed to be the highest law in the land. They have no right to violate it for their petty kind of sex called games, their cheesy porn called skit games. Right? Skit and schizo are connected, right? Sow your seed, right? Whoever sows injustice reaps calamity, is what the Bible says. And truly I tell you, on this trajectory, not a speck of good will be found in America after I'm gone. Because they've sown that wickedness. They've yoked themselves to the spirit of cheating me. They've yoked themselves to the spirit of cheating my father, who they gave a humanitarian award. Okay, there is no fucking excuse for what is happening here. So I urge you all to put pressure on law enforcement to stand together in groups and demand justice. My name is Chukwuemeka. Mecca. I live in Morgan Hill, California for now, but it looks like I'm going to move, and I'm going to continue documenting how they continue to harass me regardless of where I live. Thank you.